everybody's doing good. Everybody's doing really well today. Yeah, we got some stuff going on we're going to talk about. Obviously, if you guys read my thumbnail, it's kind of pretty amazing that actually, multiple times here now, guys, we've had seismic events right after these things hit us. So, you know, anybody that was kind of on the fence on whether or not space weather could trigger some earthquakes, maybe they should hop onto this side of the fence. Hey, Axe Christine, how you guys doing? Tab, what's up? Jane Doe, what's up? Tam Tam, first one in here, Jane Doe. Rebecca, hey, what's happening? Catherine, Janelle, Roy, what's up, man? Yoga with Denise. Sound like you might have sound like a channel name. You guys might check it out. You guys are into yoga. Space River News. Bob Fox. Hey, Musing. Hey, what's up? Is that Muse? You changed your name? Let's do that, right? I think maybe you changed your name because me and Mark Pyers was using the wrong pronoun there. Hey, Renee, what's up? Shelly, Bob, Dawn. That's what I thought. That's funny. Yeah, guys, me and Mark both thought she was a dude, and yeah, so she puts dudette. That's hysterical. Oh my goodness. Karen, what's up, guys? Big Bear, Kimberly, Johnny, Major, what's up? Karen. All right, guys. There is, like I said, guys, we've got some stuff going on here. I'm gonna put this down for just a second. Guys, there's a couple more people here on the list too that I haven't had a chance to add. Again, I want to give a shout out to Arthur W. You know, guys, your guys' generosity and your guys' just willingness to try to do good things is very, very humbling for me, and well, my wife also. It's just something that I didn't expect, and it's such a blessing that you guys were able to, really step in like this and do this, basically when not asked. You're just doing it because you want to. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And it takes a big stress off of all of us here at my house. So I do appreciate it. But everybody's name is on this list, and I know it doesn't look very professional. I'm working on getting a better looking thing here. Believe it or not, guys, trying to add this kind of stuff to like a video background so it looks pretty professional, it takes some time to get together and put up. It takes a minute. The editing software and stuff, you have to learn how to use it, and I'm faster at it now than what I used to be, but I'm still kind of slow. But I want to read off some names here too that I got some recent donations real quick. So Angela T, Janet, Kim W, well, it'd be Janet S, Scott from Planet X News, I can just say him. He gave me half of that winning lottery ticket. 20, yeah, he went and bought a lottery ticket, and he said in my live chat, and he sent it over, $25. Cool. Sam, I think that's a G. Yeah, Sam G. Margaret Flynn. Ooh, said last name there. Sorry. Margaret F. How about that? David W. We all know who that is. People, if you've been around the Mark Pyers family, you know who that is. His name's on this list multiple times. This man will donate to other channels in the name of this channel and others. That's what he does. That's how good of a guy he is. Let's see here. Who else? Zarina D. Dave and Renee B. Julie W. And Jill D. It's the same here, too. So, thanks, guys. I really do appreciate it. And, I don't really like mentioning, my PayPal and stuff. You guys know I feel really uncomfortable when I do stuff, when I do this. But I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. And again, once I put it in here, I don't talk about it again. I don't want this to be about that, if that makes any sense to everybody. I hope it does. Hope you guys understand that. I don't, like I said, guys, this is something that's just, yeah, I have a really passion for this, and I really appreciate you guys. And it's something that I like to do. Don't get me wrong, it's stressful sometimes. But there's my PayPal. If you guys want to, donate there, you can. Don't feel obligated to do anything. If you guys are in a bad part yourself, also, please don't send me anything. I don't want to take from you at all. That's not really what I would. I wouldn't want you to do that. Okay. You know, if it gets, you know, like I said, guys, it's something that wasn't expected, and it's just been such a blessing. So, hey, Sparky, what's up? Taylor, hey, what's up? Shits and giggles, what's cracking? Mark Webb, Marie, hey. Reese, Paula, hey. Mary Jane, hey, Paula, I think I seen you over on Ron's channel a few minutes ago. I popped in there just for a second. I didn't have a whole lot of time. But guys, I didn't get a chance to really even hear what he was talking about, because I just now got on the internet. Hey, Cosmo. Brady Cathy. But I imagine he's talking about what I'm getting ready to talk about, at least some of it anyway. Because it's very substantial what I'm getting ready to show you. So, oh, thanks, man. Thanks, Monica. Not man. Again, wrong pronoun. Thanks, Monica. I appreciate that. Ron's a good guy. We've actually had some conversations through text message. I'm so glad that Ricky and Isaiah's granny pointed out that station to me, that channel. He's a real good dude, guys. You guys, and I've shown you guys his channel multiple times. Oh, was he talking to Terry? Cool. But Melissa, Diane, good to see you here, Sassy. Okay, Marty Mark's in the house. So I am going to put away the chat. We do got, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. Let me, I will be going over to Mark's channel after I get done here, if anybody wants to stick around. Plus, guys, I got some, you know, some people were sending some stuff. Their names were on that list. But I do appreciate the letters. I've been getting a few letters, and it's really heartwarming to hear you guys, and I really appreciate that. It really does. It lifts my spirits. It lets it, you know, it's a positive thing. Sometimes snail mail is a lot better than all this other stuff we're doing right now, you know. Lady Blue's in the house. Okay. So what I am going to do here, we're just going to start, and I'm just going to get into it. I'm going to try to get to the information, and then I'll pop in and check on you, okay? But again, guys, let me restate this too. Just because of past few days, we've had some people have some issues here in the chat. The rules that I have, and my mods know the rules, so that, I mean, they're not going to do anything that I haven't, you know, asked them to do. And that rule, the first rule is, by no means can we use vulgarity. Now, you want to say the words like, and forgive my language if this offends people, I'm sorry, but shit, damn, something like that, that's different than, you know, really dropping some F-bombs and getting really derogatory. And, you know, really it's more about context, how you use that word. But still, no vulgarity, you know, just kind of keep it, you know, I don't want to say kid-friendly, but just keep it PG. Maybe that's what I should say. But do that, and you cannot attack anybody in my chat, any other channel creator, personally at all whatsoever. Okay? That's something I cannot even have at all in my chat. If we see it, it's an immediate, you know, erase the comment, and, you know, the mod will give you a warning or whatever. And then it's going to be if you do it again, especially if you do it again, then you know you're doing it. It's a 300-second timeout, and then the next step would be to boot you. I don't want to do that, and that's why I keep my rules really, really open, and I keep it that way for a reason, because I want people to be able to come here, voice their opinion in a respectful way, and keep it about the subject. Don't go into somebody personal, like calling people fat, stupid, idiot. You know, all those that name calling stuff is just ridiculous. And also, you don't have to use those specific names to really insult somebody. You know, if there's a phrase that doesn't necessarily have vulgarity in it, but it's like well, let me give you this example. Do you guys remember when George Bush did that interview, the second George Bush, and he was over in the Middle East. What did the guy do in the audience? He threw his shoe at him. Okay, you want to know why? Over there, they consider that one of the most disrespectful things you can do to somebody. So it matters. The context matters. Somebody throws a shoe at me here today in America, I'm not going to care. But if I go over there, I'm going to care. So that's the example I would use. So you can use all kinds of straight words and everything, but if it's a straight, passive aggressive kind of cut on somebody, that's the same as insulting them personally. Now, if you want to attack the idea, that's different. But it has to be done in a respectful way. So yeah. Yep, all it is, they actually do that. They throw shoes at people. I don't mean to laugh, especially if it's people from over there listening, because it is. It's definitely a very, very big insult. And over in England, they do that little under the chin thing. Take their hand and kind of flip it. That's the same as flipping people off over here. There's things like that. And my point is, the context is different wherever you go. And what's going to offend people here, I'm not so much worried about offending people if you're attacking the idea. Okay? But you cannot attack somebody personally. And no other creators, whether I like them or not. That I can't have that, because all that does is start drama. And I've seen it just blow up all over the internet before. And I have to say right now, in our genre, we got people just turning on each other like crazy. It's getting ridiculous. It really is. Unfortunately, that's what's been happening. And I see it all over the internet, and especially in the genre we're in right here. I'm not going to go into specifics, but people start saying they have the only answer, and then the person that they're talking to say they have the only answer, and then they start fighting with each other. It gets really nasty and dirty, and, it's not good for the community at all. Somebody cannot take my opinion from me. And when somebody says that they have all the answers and we have none, including you guys here in the chat, that's what they're saying. And it ain't just one channel. Okay? Now, if I hear somebody say, yeah, I got the best kind of evidence over here, they're not actually saying that they have the only answer. They're saying, hey, I got the best evidence. Come look at this. They're not telling you how to think. They're going to show you their evidence. And they're not saying, don't go look at nobody else. Don't go watch, you know what I mean? So there's a difference. So when somebody comes out and just says, I'm the only one with the answer, what I say to that is, you guys do what you will with that, but I walk away from it, and I don't turn around and even look back. Especially when those same people are the ones that have always said, keep an open mind. And it really does. It's unfortunate. It really is. It's kind of sad, to be honest. I get that not everybody's going to get along all the time. And I also get that some people just aren't going to work with others. But you don't have to come out on the internet, use your platform, and just be so I have all the answers, you have none type of thing. It just isn't, I don't see how people even receive that whatsoever. What'd you say there, Warrior Truth? Oh, man. Yeah, you see, that's why I love you guys in here, man. I do. Yeah, Taylor, we can. I get it. But I have to say those kinds of things. I do. And the reason why, I didn't mean to go that far into it, but I have to say it because it matters. It does. It really matters, because people aren't going to accept this genre on the whole if people are out there doing that. It affects all of us. So, yeah. Anyway, we got this going on here. We had the big flare, remember? And I am going to put the chat away. So, let me do that. And yes, thank you for telling me to get back to this, because yes, you're right. I was going too much with that. I should have backed off a little and just got into this. I get it. I do. I understand. Sometimes I can't I got to get it off my chest too, and it just bothers me. So we got that big M class flare. We've had quite a few other little flares here too. Okay, but we've also had geomagnetic activity, and it's not really showing up here right now. We are getting hit pretty decently with some high dense material, high dense plasma. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to move this graph for us to actually take a hit. Okay? So, and I know that's kind of hard to understand, but also with the proton flux here, this is a direct result of that big flare. It's a delayed reaction. You see the delayed reaction from here, and then we started seeing the uptick probably here just about almost 12 hours later. And sometimes we see that. Okay? Because X-rays, remember X-rays are moving at the speed of light, and protons are actually particles. Okay, so they have weight, they have mass, they're traveling way slower, is what I'm trying to say, than light. Now these tend to travel faster than the typical solar wind, but they're still slower than light. Okay, here's the first look at the sun. You know, we got, this is the one that did blow the big one, okay? It's now crested the limb. And this would be the eastern limb. That's backwards of what you would think of if you're looking at a map. Like trying to go cross country or something. You know, the left side is east. The right side is west. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's what it is. And I'm not going to go into why that's actually why they do that, but that's how they just map it out. It's as simple as that. It's about perspective again. Here's the LASCO C3. This is the, you know, I show you the LASCO C2 all the time. This is just a zoomed out version. You guys see that little bit of energy there and there? You know, the sun's still having ejections. Now, you can see here, let me bring this in, you see that little bit of a dark spot? That is another sunspot. That's the big one that, and I don't call it a big sunspot, but that's the one that has been blown the big ones. And I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm going to take you to another view here in just a few minutes. And I hope you guys, you know, really get something from this, because if you look at this spot right here, do you see the white little dots all around it? The more intense white color? Those are other little spots that are there, and they have different polarities. So what happens is they're close enough to that main spot, and they start interacting, and when that happens is when we get the big events. Now, sometimes after this thing has a big flare, it will actually stabilize for a minute, and it might take it a while to become unstable again. But just think, from here to over here, it's going to be at least a week. Okay? So we're going to be looking at this thing for at least 7 days. And if you remember, I actually said, hey, we might get a high dense event within the next 7 days, and I said that like 5 days ago. So that's kind of what we're seeing, you know, right here. Let me show you this first, because this shows it in straight data form. I'll pull the chat up here. So what you're seeing here, guys, is that high dense pop. So you got the wind speed here, right, in yellow. Now the range is 2 to 600, and it's staying right around 400, except for here. Okay, now here as of late, we've been seeing these things kind of get real fluctuant here, up and down real quick. After the satellite comes back in to be able to, you know, it has that blackout time where it can't send data because of line of sight. And when it comes back on, typically we'll get some false readings. Well, this isn't that. Look, because the data stayed on. So this is actually what happened. This is what has happened. So we've had wind speed get up over 600, and we also had density get up over 10. So, you know, we're probably looking at 30 is what it looks like right there. Because from here to here is 10. From here to here is 90 units. 10 to 100. So we're probably between 10 and 100 there would be about what? 45? So that's probably about what that data point is. Why did some of these look like straight lines? Because the data points were exactly the same each time and they, you know, when they line up like that, they look like a solid line. But the BZ is hanging right around 0. It's not really doing nothing. It's just kind of hanging right here, man. It's really stable. We don't typically see it like this. Usually it's moving around like back here. The phi angle, it looks like it may have had a polarity shift here, and we're talking about solar wind there, right? The polarity of the solar wind. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about phi angle. That's important to know because that's how the particles get here. They get here by magnetism. They follow that magnetic line. So, and then you got temperature kind of just doing its thing. So we got increased wind and density at the same time. That spells solar issues, okay? Usually. The Enlil model. Let me back that off a little bit. Now remember, this right here, this hump right there, is from that flare. That's the CME that was associated with that M-class flare. So that's still yet to come. That's why this graph is reading from 10 to 50. Usually it'll read 0 to 20 or something like that. But that's why it's so high. All three of them do it if one of them do it. Unfortunately, it makes this right here not look as significant as what it actually is. Because if this said 0 to 20 instead of 0 to 50, that's why this looks flatter than what it actually is. Okay? So if we go to the time where we're at, about right here, actually we're further along than that. We're about right here. So it makes sense that we're getting this density right now. This Enlil model is correct. But as I move this forward, look what happens. You see this? That right there is probably this. Okay? I do think that may give us some issues later. And we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But it's going to be about a week for that it could even get here. You know, and we'll have to watch it because it probably will change, just to be honest. Now, did you see this? That's a flare. Okay? It's a little shot. Bam. Real quick. We got hit. It might not have been a flare. It could have been a little bit of a CME that we didn't see. Or just a little bit of a coronal hole stream that we just got hit with. But it spiked pretty good. Really, really quick. And it only did it for a second. Now, typically when we see this spike here, it'll spike here too. Because most of the time they're glitches. This one is not, because it's definitely just on one part. Now notice that the proton flux is split again. It usually looks like a straight line. And it's actually higher now than what it has been since we started this whole thing. And I can show you that just by looking at this. Okay? So, yeah. And we're talking about radiation there pretty much. The astronauts really got to pay attention to this, because when it starts getting into S1, S2, again, those are pretty much proton flux storm levels is what they are. Okay? And these are radio blackout levels, and this is geomagnetic storm levels. And they're just a number that they assign these things. They got to be able to measure them somehow, so sometimes they got to create their own measurement. Now this is going to look strange to you guys. I guarantee it. Typically we just see the big shot right here in the middle, right? Well, the protons, they come in on the poles. Our atmosphere pretty much deflects the rest of it. And that's what you're seeing here. And so let me push play here. And that's one thing about this right now that's been bothering me too. You guys see this? I'm pushing play. It's not giving us a time lapse. It's updating. Okay? Actually, no, it's not. It might be. It's I mean, that is pretty real time right there. It's about 233 UTC. Right now it's about it would be about 3 or 4 UTC right now currently. So, you know, there is a lag on this anyway. But again, what you're seeing here is that. Plus you're seeing right here, and that would be, you know, flare stuff. Just little flare pops. And it's ionizing our atmosphere. And that's why they get the radio blackouts. Okay? So then if we go back here and look at this, you see the density hit, right? Look what time it happened. It happened just before about 2,300 hours, right around that, okay? That's significant because let me show you something. These earthquakes. This one at a 6.4 in Russia. This one down here at a 6.3 in Argentina. Now let's look at the time. That's roughly 23:54 UTC. This is my local time right here. So you got to add 5 hours to it. So it's 23:54. That one, what? 23:54. We're talking seconds apart from each other. Roughly about the same size. For all intents and purposes, they are the same size. At the exact same time. Across the ocean from each other. Look at the distance there. Now, what's common here? And I was thinking about this, and I could be off. I could be wrong on this. This is something I was thinking about. That if we go back here, and we look at this, where is the extra protons at? It's closer to the poles, right? So is that what we're seeing? Now, right down in here, that's definitely not down the pole, and that's where that earthquake was. But up here in Russia, what I'm saying is it's away from the equator. It's nowhere near equatorial. It's more closer to the poles than it's not. Both of them. We can't really see. That's why I wanted the time lapse. I can't go back to that time because this energy here could have been right over top of this. I don't know. I can't see it. I tried to refresh it. I tried to do all the tricks that I could do to see that data, but you know, I'm sure they'll add it back in later, but I'd like to see it now. We'll take a look at this. This is the Auroras. And again, yes, we're going to see some Auroras because this is charged particles. This is not X-ray. So this right here is the geomagnetic magnetosphere models. It shows us the moving models here. The sun's off to the left. This one here is speed, okay? It's the solar wind speed. That's all it's showing you. Now, obviously, you're seeing it jump around there. Let me get you guys up here. And, you know, it's just, you know, it is an uptick event. And we were actually, like I said, I was talking about this. I just didn't know exactly when it was going to hit. And I find it interesting, especially this. This is the density. Watch this thing. Okay, and if you remember what I said yesterday, what was going to happen to this thing? It was going to turn blue. That's exactly what it's done. Because that's what it's showing you. I do find it kind of interesting that we have a separation between the dense particles here and a little bit of a section back here that becomes dense. I'll leave my cursor there. You'll see it in just a second. It'll show up. Hold on a minute. What was that? Okay, watch this. Watch right here. See that? It's like we had a little bit of a flush of the density or something. It's not no big deal or nothing, but that was kind of odd. But watch right here. You're going to see like a little dense pocket show up. See that? And there's separation there. We don't usually see it like that. And that's something else too. Check out right in front of us. Look at that. I have to say that I don't know that I've seen it actually look like that before. I'm not making a big deal about this because it's not. You know, it's almost like we got hit in the front there and it pushed our bow shock very, very pinpointed and compressed it right in front of us pretty hard in that one section. Now we're just looking at density. Our bow shock, actually, if you look right here, you could probably kind of map out the edge of it. It's still there, you just can't see it because the particles on the left side of it are the same density as the particles on the right. Yeah, guys, please share my video. So, yeah. Hey, Gone Girl, what's up? So you're seeing that. Now, you know, it's going to, you know, kind of show up here too. Not as much, but no, I do not, Infinite. You know, they make, you know, Infinite makes a comment here. Do you think the end of the world is in sight? No, I do not. That'd be cool. Let's do it. Yeah, it looks like Pac-Man eating Earth. You know, it's funny you say that, Warrior, because that's actually been said before. Pretty close to it. Hey, Virgo, good to see you. G513 in the hizzy. Teresa, that's right. Thank you. Thank you for doing that for me. I appreciate that. Rob Beavers. Mark Webb. Bubba News is in the house. That's right. Go check him out over. I think that you have a channel too, don't you, Bubba News? Pretty sure. So, yeah, guys. Again. This isn't, you know, on the end of the world discussion. Now, I'll just say it like this. This is going to sound really crazy. None of us has been here for the end of the world. So, what I mean by that is, none of us know what that looks like. We can all sit around and theorize all day long about it. But if the end of the world does happen, none of us are going to know if we were right. Thanks, Angel. I appreciate it. Alfred, what's up? Randy, Chris. Back at you, Bubba. Back at you. Do that. That's what I'm going to call you from now on, Muse. I'm telling you. Do that. That's what it's going to be. Gilroy. Yeah, this is live, Clem. I'm sorry. Julie Day, hey. What's up? XO, what's going on? Chris P. Simone's in the hizzy. Rebel, there you are. Yeah. Again, guys, I don't usually talk about like that kind of a specific date, but to answer the question, do I think at the end of the world's in sight? No. Do I think something catastrophic could happen? Yeah, I do. We all do, or we wouldn't be sitting here. You know, do I know when it's going to happen, or if it's going to happen in my lifetime, my kids' lifetime? No, I don't. All I can do is do the best that I can to show you guys what I'm seeing and give you guys at least my opinion on what's going on. And then this is what I mean about us needing to be able to share with each other instead of just blocking off saying I have all the answers. Because when that day comes and we're all standing before whoever that you want, whatever your thing is, I'm going to be standing before my Creator. And if he's going to look at me and he's going to say, why did you tell everybody you had all the answers when you didn't? Because you can't. You cannot be perfect. You're not going to have all the answers. I don't care who you are. You might get close, but you ain't going to have them all. And if you close off your mind while influencing others to try to close theirs off too, you're making a mistake. Just saying. So, what we're seeing here, that was just to answer that question. I wouldn't even have went down that line of thought, but this is pressure. Again, notice that this event ain't lasting very long. This is all happening right around those earthquakes. So, my opinion on what that is, and let me give you just what I think is going on a little bit. You know, I know that earthquakes are going to happen whether we get space weather or not. And we can't forget that. Okay? But we cannot forget the fact that space weather does add to. Okay? It adds to the formula. And sometimes it is the last piece that it takes to see it pop off. Alright, so we're going to look at these models here. I'm just going to play them because there's really not a whole lot to like pinpoint into on these right now. You know, this is the 171. I'll zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see it better. I'll hide that down a little. Is the large sunspot in front of us showing signs of action? It did flare a little bit. So let me, you can kind of see it, especially on the 131 here. Let me play that. I'll grab it and show it to you. See that? Right there. That's a little flare. It's happening right there, okay? See it? It's not big, okay? You know, the conditions around this one in front of us really is not conducive for big time action right now. The spots around it are far enough away from it that they're really not reacting with each other. And that's what it takes. You have to have that reaction. And that's why we're not seeing the flaring right now. But this one over here is still being active. The one that's already blowed the big one. 2 big ones, just so you know. Okay? Now, if we go over here and look at the purple view here, we'll be able to see this pretty well. This is the one from yesterday, so watch this. That's the big one. Boom. Right? Now, do you see the atmosphere here, how it's kind of like rolling? That's the extended energy from that at the end of those magnetic connection lines. It's continuously just spewing stuff out into space. So, my thing is right now, the biggest concern that I have is this one, that it's now Earth-facing. Frankly, you know, we're going to just have to watch it. We can't be, you know, letting our guard down on this one, because this definitely is something we're going to need to watch. So, yeah. Let's go here. Again, this is the most simple one we can go to. This is the Australian model. Now look where the proton density is. It's already elevated. So we'll go back to the 30th, which is, well, it's today for most of us, but it's already tomorrow UTC time. In case you guys didn't know that. I'm sure you did. But here we go. Now watch the density. Watch it pick up. I mean, that got high right there for a second. I'm talking like really high. See how it's bouncing around? Okay, and then the speed's going to do the same right now. And another reason why I like this particular model is the fact that it gives us an image every minute. We don't have a whole lot of models out there that do that. So if I take it back, let's take it back a little bit. I want to find that high, the most high dense particles here. Let's walk through this part. See, it's getting up about 10, 13. I think I seen it get up to like 16 or 20 there for a second. Yeah, I think I just missed it. That is the downfall of the minute thing, because it flies by so fast. Yeah, see, there's got up to 14 there. 16, I did see a 16. Okay. So yeah, that's this high dense material, guys, and that's what we see, you know. And again, this is the Australian model. Shout out to my Aussies out there. New Zealand, love ya. England, love ya. Canadians, my Canucks, love ya. South of the border, love ya. Appreciate everybody here, you know. And look at our bow shock just bouncing all around. When that thing's bouncing around like that, that means we're getting energy, we're getting hit. So what makes us think that that can't affect us here? As far as, you know, earthquakes and stuff. Now the geoelectric field model here, I'm going to stop it right there because this is the space weather's effect on our electrical grid. Artificial electrical components, transformers, wires. See what we're seeing down there? We see this quite a bit. We'll get hit right here. And the reason why is because when we get hit with like really anything from the sun, it tends to hit more on the equator than it does on the poles, but it wraps around and comes in through the poles easier. But the initial blast usually is kind of closer to the equator. And if there's cracks or whatever there, they'll be very evident when that happens. So obviously we are getting some stuff through here. It's nothing catastrophic again, guys. That's not. Now here's seeds. Let's go back to the yesterday when we had the big boom. Okay, boom. There it is. Okay, I'll try to stop it here. I'll back it up for those that didn't get a chance to see it yesterday. Okay, so there's your first shot at it. And it impresses me. See you, J-Man. Hey, guys, go check out his channel. He does a good job. Throw your link in there, J-Man. Anyway, you get this. This here is just amazing to me. Again, it's the biggest one we've had in over 3 years. I do think it's bigger than what it came in at because of, the main thing is the proton flux going up. With this thing being way off the side of the sun and it's still affecting us the way that it is, that right there should tell you how powerful things can be. And this is stuff that, this is the things that we warn against and get a little concerned about, because if this was right in front and it came at us, our magnetic field's 20 to 25% weaker than what it was. So that thing, number one, is probably stronger than an in-flare anyway. It's probably a lower class X, in my opinion. If that hits us with a weakened magnetic field, we're going to have some issues. Okay? Notice the secondary ejection off here on the other side of the sun, too. That's something I've been talking about for a while now also. I don't know if there's any science behind that, but I do observe that quite a bit. So I'll just push play. We'll watch it again here. Let's slow it down. How about that? Here comes the big one. I think I can watch this thing all day. Boom! It's crazy. That thing just, yeah. So today, this is what we got today. The sun is still doing ejections. It's still blowing energy off, guys. I don't know how else to say it. Now, this stuff ain't going to get to us for 3, 4, sometimes 5 days. Hey, Ricky, what's up? So, anyway. This is the CME tracker. Notice that big CME, the flare that we've seen, is not there right now. This is another one. See it? It came from that spot again. That happened yesterday, I think, or earlier today. But notice, I want you guys to notice something here. You see how this energy hits Earth right here? Well, it's hitting us on the sideways view too. And it's here. It's going to hit us here too. That's not a CME, but that's high dense material. So look at that. Now, there's the CME part of it. It hits down here. But it does look as though we're going to get hit again right around like the 7th, maybe. But again, I'm not going to go too far into that because it's just, right now, it's just theory and speculation, pretty much. Because that could change really easy. Okay, spaceweather.com. Go give these guys some love. They do a great job. They're showing this flare again that I've shown you guys 100 times already. It just, I could watch it all day, like I said. But this right here has just got my chin on the floor. I know it might not look like much to most of you guys, but we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 official sunspots. Not to mention, we got this one I showed you coming, the big one, the one that's been doing all the activity, is now Earth facing. Well, it's on the Earth side. It's not directly facing us yet, but it's close enough to almost say that. It's coming into view too. But I think this one's going to rotate off as this one rotates in. So we'll still be sitting at about, 6 solar flares. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 6 solar flares. Not solar flares, sunspots. I'm sorry. And here, again, here's the big sunspot in size. And here's the little ones I've been talking about, right? Those are the ones when they start reacting with the bigger section here is when we see big stuff happen. Notice that right here, you're not seeing hardly anything around it. That's why that one's not doing much. Some of these look very, very unimpressive, but they can still blow off big things if they connect the right way. So, yeah, there we can zoom in a little bit. See how little that one is? Compared to that, you're talking 4 or 5 Earths right inside that thing, if not more. So, again, this is LASCO C3. That's that zoomed out view of the one I showed you here. This here is a zoomed in view of this. Okay? You got LASCO C2, which is here, and this is LASCO C3. Now I found this as of note too. We only had 6 fireballs. That's not a whole lot. That's like below average, really. Now this is today. We're coming up on the 1st, right? Well, we are in the 1st officially. Remember, we got this little meteorite right here, or asteroid, whatever you want to say, that's coming 0.1 lunar distance from us. All right. What's that mean? Well, not a whole lot. I've talked about that quite a bit, actually. It's coming close, but it's not big. It's not moving that fast. So if it does enter our atmosphere, depending on what it's made out of, it's most likely just going to, burn up, and it won't do a whole lot. And I don't think it's going to come into our atmosphere because they still got it missing us. If they thought it was going to hit us, they would have changed this to 0. And even if it says 0, sometimes what that means is it's actually inside of 0.1. So, hey, Body and Soul, E-Rock. That's right. North Carolina, huh? Body and Soul, Ricky. That's right. My peeps are all up in here. I love it. Okay. Again, guys, let me, I do want to show you guys this again because we don't see this happen that often, guys. It's hard to look at something that's almost the exact same strength across the Pacific Ocean happening within seconds of each other. I don't understand how somebody couldn't think that that wasn't related. I've not seen anybody say that it's not, but yeah. And I do know that even the quote-unquote professionals, they are taking in consideration space weather right now, too. Not like we do, or not like, in my opinion, like they should, but they are actually starting to actually put it in textbooks and things. But it's going to be, yeah, Ricky, that's crazy, wasn't it? We're talking, that's at 54:59 there. That's 54:34. 15 seconds. Bubba, I don't know, I try to, I don't like to go out that far, like a week. If I say we're going to get a high dense something, like I said earlier this week, I'm usually pretty close to 99% confident that that's going to happen. But when we're talking about like the KP going up, that's reliant on a whole lot of different things. Okay, it could come. A KP can get risen just from a stealth solar storm. Okay, the stealth solar storm is just a solar storm we didn't see. They didn't see it. We didn't see it. Nobody's seen it, and it hit. So that's what I'm saying there. You asked me 2 days out. Again, when we got all these sunspots facing us, I won't rule out any day, just to be honest. You know, the chances of us, the percentage of chances, I think, is higher right now for us to have any kind of solar event. Just for the fact that we got so many sunspots facing us. And at least 2 of them that we know of have already produced big flares and CMEs. The one that's cresting now. Try to show it to you here. This one. That's the one that's been having all the action. It had the M4 over here. If you go back last week when it was on the complete backside of the sun, that's the big one I showed you guys last week. Here, let me show it to you again real quick. I got seeds up anyway. What I'll do, I'm trying to remember what day it was. Was it the 23rd? I think it was 24th maybe. Yep, see? This big halo was caused by the same one that did this. If it's going to show it. There you go. So yeah. Hey, True News, what's up? So that's the same sunspot, guys. It's given us 2 full halos already. And they're roughly 7 days apart. So what's that mean for us? Well, nothing is set in stone, but let me tell you, when that thing's right in front of us, I'm not going to feel very good about it. Just to be honest. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and dwell on it and get all freaked out and scared, because it does absolutely no good. No fear, no fear, no fear. I say that all the time. We can't fear things we can't control. We just got to be aware of them so we can react when we need to. That's it. You know, if we're aware of it, we make better decisions when we react. If you think back to when you were, and I said this a lot, people that's been with me for a while are going to hear a repeat, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you think back to when you had the worst scare of your life, it probably involves some sort of a shock scare. Like somebody jumped out and you didn't expect to see it. That kind of a thing. So when we get like big flares and stuff, that's what I consider a shock scare. And if somebody was to pop off some kind of warning, but say we had, I don't know, some sort of a big flare happens and they think we're going to have a Carrington event. And oh my gosh, SHTF is happening. And, you know, what do? Well, if you're aware of this stuff, it doesn't strike fear in you. What happens is you turn into the mode of following through with a plan, making good decisions. If you weren't aware of that, you would just be going in circles. Make no mistake, if we're here when something like that happens, if you've ever talked to this stuff with anybody in your personal life, those same people that scrutinize and make fun of you over this stuff, they're going to be the first ones at your door asking, what do I do? You know? And if you got to look at your kids and turn and look at them, what are you going to do first? You're going to take care of your kids. And it's probably going to force a lot of people into making a lot of hard decisions. And it's not, and none of those decisions will work out for everybody. So, just saying. Let's put the earthquakes all the way up to all magnitudes here. And you can see the activity is actually fairly busy right now. You know, we're getting this stuff over here in the southern part of California is actually, that's quite a bit, even for California. You know, these red ones are the ones that's happened, you know, very, very recently. I'm not really seeing anything out, well, Kansas. Yeah. I don't know if they do fracking there or not. They might. I don't know. Now, Oklahoma, I know they do fracking there. I'm not saying that's what causes those every time, but they do cause some earthquakes. That is a known fact. Hey, Becca, what's up? Good to see you. Good to see you. So these are the ones in Canada. Again, thank you to Menacing Muskrat for showing me this website. I still see people out there talking about that we haven't had, you know, they were talking about down here, like the earthquake stopped. Now I know USGS didn't show it, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know. If I know that this is there, I would think that most people that do this kind of thing for their channels already know it's there too. So why not use it? I'm doing okay, Becca. I'm hanging in there, guys. It's you know, everybody's got it rough right now. That's why I don't like to just go down that road, you know. That's just what it is. And I appreciate you guys so much just for even being here, listening to my butt. Now, I do want to show you guys something. I think I kind of showed you guys this yesterday, maybe. Let me see. I can't remember if I did. Did I show you guys this? I think I did. What you're looking at here, it's just a little diagram, and I want people to really understand what this is, okay? I made this on my 3D paint program. It's really simple, but it's easy to understand. This is the sun, this is the earth, right? That's a coronal hole, the black one there. Okay? So, the white line going through the connection line here, that's an IMF line. Alright? Solar wind. This is solar wind. It follows that line. That's the road it takes. And it spirals down that line. That's how it gets here. A more dense spiral means higher dense material. The lighter dense means a faster solar stream, but it also means that it's further away from the middle. It's that simple. That's solar wind. Okay, not just the solar wind that comes from coronal holes, but solar wind that's always being expelled from the sun everywhere. It's still traveling that magnetic line. So, you know, hopefully that gives people a visual to let them understand just a little bit more there. And like I said, I keep that there just so I can explain that to people, because you have to know what that is. You know, because we always question, how's it get here? Is it wind? That one particular graph right there, this one here I showed you, helps people understand that it's not wind like we think it is. When you hear the word wind, you think your hair blowing in the wind and a cool breeze on your face and all that. Solar wind is nothing more than charged particles moving one direction or the other at a certain speed, at a certain density. That's all that it is, you know. I like to keep it that simple if I can. It's, you know, you can dig into that, get into the specifics, and I have before, but I've also found that it's not really all that helpful to try to explain that to, you know, 3,000-4,000 people that watch my video on the daily. It's hard for all of them to understand that. The specifics of everything. That's why I try to keep it kind of basic, and I show you guys where to go to dig into it really deep. But one thing like I said, let me show you this one more time, and that's my playlist. And this playlist is basic space weather definitions. And these are only a couple minutes long, so kind of entertain me here for a minute, okay? Or let me hopefully entertain you. If you looked at that, at the beginning of that, it says, what is solar wind? It's 1.5 minutes long. So I'll play it. I put some music with it. There's a definition. Solar wind is a stream of charged particles released from the upper atmosphere of the sun, called the corona. Plasma mostly consists of electrons, protons, and alpha particles, with kinetic energy between 0.5 and 10 keV. That is a definition, okay? Now, if you want to know what that means, you can watch the rest of the video. I try to make it a little entertaining too, just with some decent visuals, you know. So it tells you right here, it's an outward expansion of plasma from the sun's corona. Tells you that all again, the whole thing. Sun's gravity can't hold it down. That's why it goes on and goes. Travels along, look at this, the sun's magnetic field lines that extend radially outward. In other words, they go out from the center out throughout the whole solar system. They go out in all directions, all the time. Solar wind stream of the sun, all directions, like I just said. Speeds at about 400 kilometers a second. Okay? You guys often hear me say kilometers per second. 400 of that equals about 1 million miles per hour. Okay, then the average density is 4.0 atoms. So when I'm showing you guys that, that's per cubic centimeter. So when I'm showing you guys those graphs, when you see it say 4, that's normal. Anything above that would be elevated. Solar wind is constant. It is always present. It never goes away. It just changes in speed and density. Okay? That's the end of the playlist. Not the playlist, but end of that video. And then we can go into solar flare. What's a solar flare? Tells you right here. I'm not going to go into all that, but I show you guys a few things here. Many solar flares can occur on just one day during the solar maximum. We've been talking about that. That's why this is such an odd thing to see an M4 early on in the solar cycle. Here's a coronal mass ejection. Right now, I would encourage everybody to go back and watch this one and that one. Solar flare and coronal mass ejection. If you understand that they are two different things, you're ahead of the game. Okay? It gives you a lot better understanding. And I really think people could get something from that. And it's not like I said, this one's about 1 minute and 50 seconds long. The other one's like 1.5 minutes. It doesn't take that much time. You know? So, hopefully that, you know, I hope that playlist helps. I'm going to be adding to this with definitions and things. You know, not anytime tonight or anytime soon. I'm still working on other stuff. But I will be going back and doing some adding to that playlist. So, do you guys have any questions? Thanks, Bonnie, so I appreciate that. Yep, you're right, Anna. Young ones have no clue what should go in bug-out bags. Never went camping to know. So calm the panic. Told her if she was prepared, that's time. Chance to panic. Yep. You know what to do. Explain what pack. Yes. That's an awesome thing. I wish everybody would do that. No. I'm not. No. I am, yeah. I'm not educated enough. Believe me, guys, there's a lot of learning for me to do. Yeah. There's a lot of people do that, Lady Blue. Yeah, I do, Julie. I expect more of an uptick It's going to continue. It's not going to get any. It's not going to go back the way that it was. Not for another 10 years, 11 years. Yep, surplus prepper. That's obviously that's what you do, and that's exactly right. At the very minimum, you guys should have a bug out bag at last 72 hours. That's what I have something. I actually have one that lasts a little bit longer than that, but not a whole lot. And I often get the question, how far should we go with the prepping? And I have two answers for that. And the first answer is that you need to go as far as what you're comfortable doing. And when I say comfortable, I mean you can go home and know that you did what you think you could do in case something happened, and you can go to sleep and not have to worry about it. Okay? And the other part of that would be go to the point where you think you've done enough and go one step further. That's what I do. And believe me, you don't have to spend $5 million on a bug out bag. You can make your own very, very cheap. But there's also good bug out bags out there you can purchase if you wanted to do that. And where do we bug out to? Well, Lady Jan, that is most certainly a big question. Okay? And it's going to be different for everybody. Some people don't have to bug out. All right? You got to know your position. And again, none of us have been here for, SHTF. None of us. So if it happens, you're going to have to, survey your situation from where you're at. The best thing to do is to have a couple different ways out of town, wherever you live. Just map it out a couple different times. Hey, Ron, what's up, man? Tell him I said, hey. Tell him he's doing good work. I really, really appreciate it. I really appreciate his channel. Matter of fact, let's take you guys over there real quick. He was live a few minutes. There he is. He's not live right now, but this is Ron Tyler's channel, Emergency Management Associates. Okay, guys, he talks about earthquakes, preparedness. He talks about solar weather. I mean, he talks about everything, guys. This guy he's got a great heart. He's got a great mind, and he shares it with people. And I really, really, truly think you guys would be good to go over here and check him out, because he's dedicated. And the best people to listen to are the ones that you can genuinely say that they actually care. Because those are the people that are going to be able to admit when they're wrong. And those are the people you want around you, because they're able to adjust. Because they're not so stuck on themselves that they can't grow. If they're going to try to help you, then they got to allow themselves to be helped at some level too. That's just the way I think about it. And I don't understand these seismographs nowhere near like Ron does. I'm just now starting to really get into the tip of this. Ricky's helped me more than anybody. You guys, if she says anything about quakes and stuff in here, guys, you guys need to pay attention to her. What's up, Sig? Really, going to the Senate on magma movement, that would be cool. Wow, I'd like to be a part of that. That would be neat. To actually go that far with it, and wow. Yeah, that would be neat. Hey, what's up, Sig? Say again. Oh. Yeah. What's up, Verte? He works on the Preparedness 2 stuff, guys. So. Yeah, Christine, if you're on an island, that, you know what, though? Sometimes being on an island could be a good thing. Yeah, you're right, Surplus. Yeah, guys, you know, that's why I try to surround myself with people like Surplus, because it's just, you know, people that can't come off of what they think they know, even when it's sitting them and smacking them right in the face that they're wrong about anything. Usually, if they're acting like that about any subject, not only are they passionate about it, which is a good thing, but they're also just stuck on that and that alone. So that means they're not going to be able to help anybody. You know, think about your own life situations when you're looking around and somebody comes at you with a hammer and tries to beat something in your head. What do? You completely shut down. You completely just don't, you quit listening. So if you're going to take that, you know, that avenue to, you know, try to show somebody something, what's better? Is it better to kind of back off and not be so, you know, smacking you around? Or is it the other? Now, I'm not saying back off of what you believe. I'm saying if somebody challenges you on anything that you're saying and you refuse to even look at it, that's a problem. You may not agree at the end of it, but at least look at it. So, what is your theory on effects we may go through during a pole shift? Do you wonder or have an opinion? Yeah, I have an opinion on all that, guys. You know, the biggest thing for me on a pole shift, if and when it does happen, because it will happen, I just don't know when. Hey, what's up, Ron? How you doing, bud? You know, in the whole pole shift thing, guys, it's the biggest thing for me is the equatorial bubble. I really fear for people that live on the coast. Because if the theory is right and the equatorial bubble releases when our magnetic poles, when they actually do flip, every coast in the world is going to flood. Plus, you'll most likely get a sloshing effect. What do I mean by that? Well, it's a lot like a tsunami, really, like when we have earthquakes and stuff. Just take a tub of water and move it around just a little bit, and then stop moving it. Watch what the water does. That's exactly what we would see. It would jerk us around. That's why a lot of people think that there may actually be a geographic pole flip with the magnetic pole flip, or at least a shimmy of one. And there's something out there also called a magnetic excursion. But there's really no reason to get tied up in the difference in those, because the result is the same. Whether it's a full pole reversal or an excursion, the resulting issues afterwards are the same. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I really hope that people understand that. Now, I think anybody that does channels like me and Ron and anybody else in here that has a channel, everything that we say on here, we don't want none of this stuff to happen. I'm serious. It would please me, nothing more would please me than to go to my grave not ever seeing any of this. And that's the truth. If I've ever wanted to be wrong about something, everything I talk about on this channel, I want to be wrong at the end of it. Because I don't want this to happen. And you're right, Ron, it will. And I just hope I'm not. It's not. It's a matter of if, not a matter of when. And that's just, and I think that we all have a good idea of a time frame, maybe, but even that, it's hard to pinpoint it. I see so many people putting exact dates. Oh my gosh, that's such a mistake. You lose so many people when you set a date on something and it doesn't come to pass on that date. You lose so many people. You lose so much credibility when that happens. Well, that's okay, Jerry. Good to see you here. Hey, George, what's up? Yeah, exactly. That's a good one, Surplus. Pray for peace, train for war. Exactly. I mean, honestly. Yeah, exactly, Ron. That's what I'm saying. See, he's being honest. That's why, you know, guys, that's why we like Ron, and that's why we like everybody that does what like me and him are doing. We genuinely don't want this stuff to happen. Even though it would prove us right on some stuff, we still don't want it to happen. You would have to be sick in the head and be so stuck on yourself, and your ego would have to be bigger than the front door to really want something like that to happen. Just so you could be right. It's unfortunate, but we see that a lot. And, you know, and don't get me wrong, and I said this too. I subscribe to channels that you guys probably think, why is he subscribed to them? Because, you know, they say bad stuff about me or bad stuff about other people that I'm friends with and all this and all that. Well, let me show you something. I got an answer for that. First off, let me do this. I forgot to do that. Hold on a minute. Where are we at? I think I already shared it, but I'll do it just in case. Guys, I really would like for you guys to go over and give Ron a love bomb, if you would. You know, when we get done here, or pop over there and come back if you want. Just go give him a subscription and come back. And then go check out his videos. I'm telling you guys, you won't be sorry. You know, you can tell when somebody's being genuine and when there's not. And Ron is a genuine person. It's easy to see. It's easy to see that he cares. And he's got good information and a good head on the shoulders. So what more can you ask for? Anyway, my subscription base here. Let's go home here. Well, let me do it this way. Come on. Okay, maybe we'll get there now. Who knows? Hold on a minute. I don't know why it's doing that to me. I wonder if YouTube changed their setup again. Looks like they might have. Let's just do this. Hold up. Let's do it this way. Yeah, it looks like they probably did. But anyway, I will scroll down through here and you can see who I'm subscribed to. And, you know, I'm subscribed to people that you guys think there's no way I'm subscribed to because of some of the stuff that they say or do. I just have to say, you're still going to find truth somewhere in there. And just because somebody is, you know, doesn't have a good personality, does not mean that they don't have good information. I don't point people over to that because I don't subscribe to that way of living, as far as being ridiculous like that. But at the same time, I do think that there's some truth to be found on some of those channels. And we would be, you know, amiss if we didn't take advantage of that fact. And, you know, that's just how I do it, you know. And that's another reason why, yeah, I am. What are you talking about? I should be. Hold on, I'll go check that here in a minute. If I'm not, I will be. Here, let's just go to your channel. Oh, man. Here, I'll type it in. No, I'm not. I thought I was. There you go. Go over and give them some love, guys. Good Go check him out. You guys see the content, right? I've watched quite a few of their videos. I don't know why I'm not subscribed. Sorry, Axe. I really thought I was. Actually, you know what? I forgot to hit the bell, too. There we go. I don't know. Let me tell you this, too, guys. Sometimes YouTube does that. And I think we all know that. I don't know if it's, like, specific to certain people. Sometimes it feels like that. But at the same time, I hate to, like, say that it is. But it is what it is, you know? So, yeah. Now, let's do this. Go back to my channel. Go back to my subscriptions. And this is what we're going to do. I would love for everybody to come over here and hang out with us. This guy is awesome. Positivity upside down, one the other. Okay? This is Mark Pyers. You guys, I promote him all the time because it's solid positivity. He's a good friend of mine now. Thanks to Sig and thanks to Scott for pointing me over here. He's become a really great friend. The Wages family is the Mark Pyers Real Talk family and vice versa. We're all one family. That's all that it is. And I would throw Ron's family in there with us. Anybody else that's out here doing this for the right reason. That's what I would say to that. Okay? Yeah, I put Ron's link in there, guys. Is that yours, Axe? Yeah, guys. I'm sorry. I should have put that link in there too. Sorry, man. Man. Sorry, guys. It's in there now. I don't know why I didn't do that. So, again, guys, you know, we have to support each other, right? We know that this stuff isn't getting pushed too much, if at all. You know, and like I will say this guy had somebody, he was stuck in the corner of YouTube somewhere with about 295 subscribers when Sig told Scott, and Scott told me about his channel. I went over there, and within 5 minutes, I could tell that this man was nothing about positivity, and I had belly laughed over stuff he was talking about and impressions and stuff he was doing within the first 5 minutes. I had not belly laughed in over 2 years. I can say that confidently because I remember. Because it bothered me that I could never get to that level of happiness, you know what I'm saying? And that's what this brought to me. And I wanted to share that with you guys. And what it's done is, you can now see his subscription. 2,767. That's a huge growth in less than 100 days. Okay? And you guys, anybody that's here on my channel that has ever went over there, you know when you come back, you always say, thank you, Mark. Because the guy is just awesome. And I know I promote him a lot. And I'm not going to stop. Talking to me? Wages World? I thought, yeah, well, I mean, we'll do that. Have to top chat on, not live chat. Yeah, I mean, I got my live chat in here. I wasn't worried about looking at Mark's right now. Yeah, that's his chat right there. So, but yeah, so, you know, guys, people get on me for promoting certain people all the time. And I do that because I think we have to support each other. And I want everybody to have the chance to find something positive. Because everything that I show you guys is not a positive thing. It's a necessary thing. And it helps us. It helps people. But the message and everything that it consists of is all about negative stuff that could be happening. And I just really would I love people to have that outlet like I have now. I'm so glad I found Mark because in the content that he continuously puts out, he's just as dedicated as everybody else. So, yeah. guys talking about that monolith? I don't know if is that what you guys are talking about. I actually mentioned that. Guys, you guys know that thing was riveted together? And you can actually see the saw marks on the ground where they cut it into the ground with a saw. Yeah, that didn't come from some ancient whatever. My chat box. I'm lost, shits and giggles, man. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I got you here. Hopefully that went out. Yeah, it did. So, guys, I think I am going to. Yeah, we visited Trinity a lot. Actually, we've been to her channel quite a bit. You guys need to. Trinity blue pill or Trinity red or blue pill. Hi ho, Kermit the Frog here. That's thanks, Beck. I appreciate it. So, you know, I'm going to go over here to Mark's channel. If you guys want to follow me, that'd be great. Let's go give him a love bomb. But I want to say this too one more time. This right here. Thanks to all these people here lately, guys. And to Angela T, Janet S, Kim W, Scott over at Planet X News, Sam G, Margaret F, David W, Zarina D, Dave and Renee B, Julie W, and Jill D. Thank you guys so much. And also, guys, check out my description box. If you guys want to help out Dr. Albers and Scott, you know, with Dr. Albers being sick with the mercury poisoning and stuff, the PayPal link for his is over there in my description. You might check it out. If you guys feel like you could help them out, they could definitely use it. So, that's what I would say. I'm heading over to Mark's. You guys need to follow. Love everybody in here. God bless. Yahusha saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.